we go. Well, hey everybody, it's 3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. Say hello to my dear friend. Say hello to my little friend. Is that from, what movie is that from?
I don't even know.
Yes, you don't?
I mean, I'm sure I could come up with it, but
I can't think of his name.
Now all these people watching are going,
I
can't
think of the name. My husband, it's his favorite movie, and I don't want to say...
Is it The Godfather?
No, not The Godfather, but Al Pacino's in it. You know, he was the Cuban drug dealer in Miami. He pulled out his gun and he said, say hello to my little friend.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Now I feel silly
anyway,
that I don't know.
Say hello to my little friend, Stefanie. Well, I don't want to say little. She's actually, hey there, Joy Gallo. Nice to see you. She actually is what we call, in Yiddish, a big mocker in this city. She's the CEO of Jewish Nevada. And we are here to talk about the High Holy Days and the Jewish New Year, which starts next Monday night. And hey there, Carolyn. So nice to see you. I'm so sorry I had no audio yesterday when you came. I had to go off and come back on. Gotta love technology. But hopefully, Carolyn, you can hear me now, and everybody can hear me now, and Stephanie. So we're going to talk a little bit about the High Holy Days and what it means. I mean, here at Gather with Nanny Bubby and all of our gatherers, there are so many of us from very different cultures, and everybody is so loving and kind and open to understanding what the traditions and everything shares are, and everybody learns a little bit. And so here at Nanny Bubby, we celebrate everything because everything sort of crosses over. You know, we talk about Hanukkah, we talk about Christmas, the December dilemma. So many recipes are similar.
Right.
And so here we are as we embark on the Jewish New Year, as well as a very small holiday that happens to be my very favorite Jewish holiday of the entire year, which is, do you know what it is?
I don't know where you're going with that. Yom Kippur?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, that's not many people's favorite holiday.
Not be anybody's favorite holiday. Although it is.
It's a reflective moment. Yeah, exactly.
It is in a very cleansing, meditative, spiritual way, for sure. But my very favorite holiday is Sukkot.
Oh, yes. And it comes quickly after.
Yes. Hey, Maria, how are you? Nice to have you here. Hey, Frank Solly. Frank is here. So, you know, everybody's finding us. But Sukkot is one of the and there's Arlene. So Arlene, ask and ye shall receive. And so Arlene is the one who said, hey, do you have any Rosh Hashanah desserts that we can do?
Awesome.
And so here, there you go. And here comes Stephanie. So we're going to do these desserts. But Sukkot is a fabulous holiday in that it represents the harvest. So like the American Thanksgiving, it's really the Jewish Thanksgiving. It has a lot of beauty of food and bringing your food out of the earth and preparing it for everybody to bless and to keep through the winter. And so I find having everybody, for me, that holiday represents like my heart. Like this is where I discovered my heart, and I get to put everybody around my garden, and so it's quite beautiful. So why don't you start out just a little bit and talking about Jewish Nevada and the significance of what you do for them, and just give everybody, you know, a wonderful, wonderful lesson.
Awesome. Thank you, Marla. I'm so happy to be here. Hi, everyone who's watching. As Marla said, I'm the CEO of Jewish Nevada. Marla is a fabulous past chairwoman, immediate past chairwoman of the organization, and we support and serve the almost 70,000 Jews that live in our state between here and Northern Nevada. We provide services and opportunities for outreach, engagement, connection to Jewish life, and then, of course, we take care of those in need. And I'm thrilled to be here today to talk about Rosh Hashanah that's coming up on Monday, as Marla said. It is the start of our Jewish New Year, 5782, and so we are looking forward to bringing in the new year this year with all things sweet.
Well, great. Say hello to Sandy Stolberg. So happy to have you here. Lindsay Bernay is here.
I know Megan's watching, and I don't know why it only says some people.
Yeah, do you
but
see that?
For sure that Megan's watching.
I know. So let's start with a great Rosh Hashanah drink. Hey, Brenda Mills, so nice to see you here. And Frank says we've got sound, which is great. I mean, if you have a question, you ask Frank. Frank always tunes in.
Oh, that's my friend Ruth. Hi, Ruth.
Oh, yeah, Ruth Furman.
Yes.
Hey there. Yeah, she's here very frequently and always leaves positive.
And my husband's watching.
Oh, Jonathan Tuzman. There you go. And Megan is there. There she says, I'm here. So when you're here, You'll always have to just type a thumb, or you have to type something, otherwise we don't know you're here, and Facebook doesn't count you. I have learned this after 10 months of doing this show, there you go. All right, so this is what we want to do. This is a fabulous Rosh Hashanah Sangria. So to those of you who are not Jewish, anything with pomegranate is considered Rosh Hashanah-ish, right? Like pomegranates are definitely a fall fruit, and they say that there are 713. 600. I always get confused.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I hoped that you were making that reference, but yes, 613.
613 seeds. Apparently, I think there's 700. I'm missing 100 commandments. I'm still searching like what those could be. But the underlying cultural reason for that 613 is that in the Torah, which is the Hebrew Bible, that most of you Christians will look back and call that the Hebrew Bible, there are 613 commandments. And so it is said that every pomegranate holds 613 seeds. So we are not breaking open a pomegranate and counting the seeds. We buy them at Smith's in a plastic container, but hoping that there are 613 in this container. So we are going to start. Let me grab this recipe. And so all of you know that I believe in always reading a recipe. Now, this is not my own recipe. This is a recipe that came off of one of Stefanie's very favorite websites, Tori Avey. But I always read recipes, even if they're what I do myself, for this reason, that you could be cooking your best family recipe, and as you're going, the phone could ring, the baby could cry, your husband needs something, the dog barks, the bee stings, and you forget your most important ingredient, even if it is a recipe that's been passed down for generations. That one time you make it, you're like, what's wrong with this recipe? And it's like, oh, I forgot the honey. And there you go.
There you go.
So there's other things that are very significant to Rosh Hashanah. One is apples, right?
That's right.
And the other is honey, which we have all of them. So everything is represented here in this recipe. So we're going to start, and I'll let you kind of put everything together.
Marla asked me what I'd prefer to make first, the sangria or the cheesecake, and of course the sangria, so we could sip on it while we make the cheesecake.
There you go. So Barbara Brenner is here. Say hi to Barbara.
I think my mom's here too. She said she wants samples, so you'll come over later, Marla.
Yes, you'll go over later. Our biggest issue today is what she's taking everything home in. Okay. All right. So let's pour in a bottle of this red wine. So, you know, when you're making a sangria, you want to use a decent red wine, and usually a red wine blend is the very, very best that you can do. So you don't want to use your grape Cabernets. You want to use something that is really a blend of a wine. This is called Apothic Crush. I'll just show that to you. See, if this wasn't backwards, I wouldn't be able to read it.
Right,
so I showed her a little Facebook trick here. So that way you can read this. And it smells very cherry,
it smells
right?
Great.
So you could use Manischewitz, but I don't know why you would want to. So
unless you're my mother.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, and we are going to put in 1 pomegranate seed. So let's put in the fruit first. So if you want to open that up.
Yes.
And I'm going to take, if you can all see me, let me move a little bit closer so that you can see me here. And I'm just going to slice this apple, just like leave the stem in here, the core, get it out. And then we're going to just take this and we're just going to slice it really thin. So just, there we go. Now, I'm going to suggest that you can cut your fruit and prepare your fruit ahead of time. You can put all your ingredients in, but what you know for certain is that these apples are going to die, right? They're gonna start getting very, very brown, or they're gonna get very red. So you'll see as we drop them in.
Now, do you think you should sprinkle them with lemon juice if you're gonna cut them ahead of time, or no?
Well, what I'm suggesting is you could put your wine, you could put your grape juice. I got sparkling grape juice instead of regular grape juice. And you can put your pomegranate juice all in a pitcher and put it in your refrigerator.
Got it.
You could take your apples and you could slice them, put a little bit of saran wrap over the top. that will keep them from going brown too much. But once they get into that red wine, you're not even going to see any brown spots on these apples because the red, it won't matter. The red will totally dye it. So that's a good way to get everything prepped and ready to go. I also was thinking, as I was looking at the grapes that we're going to put in here, that I actually would take the grapes and freeze them.
That's a good idea.
And then I would put the frozen grapes in there. Number one, it will keep them from absorbing the red and keep them very green inside the sangria. And number two, they act like little ice cubes in the sangria, and how fabulous. And who doesn't love a frozen grape, I ask you?
Yeah, no, that's really good. I never thought that they would not absorb the color. I guess that makes a lot of sense. But
yeah, well, you know, it's like there are certain foods, like as an example, when you're baking, in some cases you want cold eggs, but for the most part, every recipe will say room temperature eggs. And why is that? Because just like your hands, if your hands are really, really cold and you put lotion on them, your pores are not open enough to absorb it. And so
that makes a lot of sense. That's why you wash your face with warm water.
That is right.
So your pores are open.
That is correct. Okay, so we'll throw that in and go ahead and put the pomegranates in.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, I love that. I love pomegranate seeds.
And then I'll let you go ahead and start getting the grapes off. There's some more. Let me.
Now you don't cut these; you just put them in whole.
I would. I just think they look beautiful, don't you? And I also, to be honest with you, I'm having, as you know, because you've been all watching me test for the baby shower, which is coming October 2nd. And I'm thinking this would make a lovely afternoon October. You know, punch for a bunch of women during a baby shower on October 2nd. What do you guys think? Can you give me a thumbs up? What do you think? Do you think this would be a great idea, a fall sangria for a baby shower brunch? And I think I might put light champagne. Hey, Lisa, I'm so glad you're here. I'm not sure if you're still in Atlanta.
Oh, that's my Uncle Leo. He's also
Hi, Uncle
watching.
Leo. How are you? Okay. All right. So we're getting the grapes in.
Okay.
Let me take this. Let's give it.
Pick up this lemon bell so
Okay.
on
Well,
it.
this is a lot of fruit for not as much. So what we're going to add now is we're going to add 2 cups of the pomegranate juice. So, there we go. And I have a cup. Oh, there it is.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. This actually is 2 cups in this bottle. So let's see. 1. And I'm just going to pour the rest. And then we're going to open that up and just pour in. It actually calls for, well, you know what I forgot to get? I forgot to pull it out. It calls for brandy and triple sec.
Well, you pulled out the whiskey.
Well,
I wondered if that was for this.
No, the whiskey is for the cheesecake.
You know, it's funny. I was going to ask you where the alcohol was.
Oh my God. Okay, so we don't have it out here, and if I run to my liquor cabinet,
no, it's fine.
We'll put it in after. But we're going to pour in the sparkling grape juice, which is really awesome. It's starting to fuzz and fizzle. We can pour in a little bit of triple sec and brandy. And she will bring this all home to you, Mom and Dad and Uncle Leo. And do you want to taste it without the...
Yes,
okay.
I probably should. It is in the middle of a work day. We don't want anyone thinking this is what we do during the work day, or that I do during the work day.
Are you not? I don't think you're using that because we're putting the cheesecake in that.
Great.
Okay. All right. So there we go. That is a fabulous, oh my gosh, sangria, which does not pour well out of this, but... You know, the more we pour out, how's that taste?
Ooh, really good, actually.
Is it? Yeah, maybe a little bit more of the Concord grape.
Probably now that there's room, you could.
Yeah, and also too, you'll take this home for the kids, so they'll think that they're drinking wine tonight.
Oh, that, right.
Yeah, that's so great, right?
I just realized there is a whole bottle of wine in this sangria.
Yes, there is. You can. Yes, there's alcohol. She just started pouring it and lost her mind.
That's right. I did.
Okay. All right.
So, does it say that this should sit for a bit and like it probably gets better over time?
It does. It absorbs definitely into the fruit, and you know you would leave room for possibly even more.
Some great flavors.
But it's a 1/4 cup of brandy and a 1/4 cup of triple sec, and we're going to be posting this recipe in Gather with Nanny Bubby. So if you want the recipe, go into our Facebook group, which is Gather with Nanny Bubby Facebook group. If you're not a member, just ask to be a member, and at some point we'll get you in. So all is well. And let's see, Sandy Loomis is here. Hey, Sandy. Roseanne is here. Roseanne will let you in if you'd like to be a member. She's our member scanner. Okay, so let's clean this up. You sip your sangria, and now you're relaxed, right? Do you want? Do we need to add some beautiful fruit into this cup for you?
No, we're good.
No, you're
Yes.
sure? Okay. All right. So let me move this, and let's start our cheesecake. So this is a very interesting recipe. This is actually Tori Avey got this from the Pioneer Woman, and it's right out of Pioneer Woman Holidays. And I think it's really awesome. It actually does not have any pomegranate in it, but honestly, I think you could sprinkle pomegranates on the very top.
That'd be great.
So let's start with, I forgot to pull these out, but never fear, Nanny Bubby is here. Okay, so these are 2 bags of red cherry. So we're making cheesecake shooters, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand this to you, and you can kind of call out. I scratched it off at the grocery store yesterday as I was buying, so I rewrote it. So tell me what's first. Sue?
Yes. Well, 24 ounces, so it's 2 12-ounce bags of pitted cherries.
Right, and I could only find 10 ounces, so just telling you this is a little bit less than what the recipe calls for, but I don't think that it's not going to be a great recipe. So how did you guys like that sangria? Did I see thumbs up? Did I see like somebody give us some love here? Let us know. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
They may be disappointed that we forgot the brandy, but I will tell you that wine was really good, and with the brandy I can.
There we go. Look at all the lovely thumb. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everybody. There we go. Okay. It is beautiful. And what do you think about for a baby shower? Am I getting thumbs up on the baby shower idea?
I think you did.
October 2nd? Okay. I think that would be so great. I really do. Okay.
And then you're going to add a 1/4 cup of honey to this.
Okay, so here we go. I'm using this raw unfiltered honey. Brenda says I always make sangria for get-togethers. That's awesome. Okay, and she said I think it probably needs to cure a bit. Yes, Lisa said that, and yes, Lisa, Stephanie thought so too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this on. Oop. Medium. Okay,
Yep, medium.
So what does it
you're
say
gonna
to do?
1/4 cup of honey. So you're combining in the saucepan the cherries, the honey, and the whiskey.
Okay, so
Yep.
you want to? All right.
No, go for it.
Okay. Let's see. Where is? There we go. So now I will tell you that I rarely use whiskey in a recipe, and I was shocked at how amazing the aroma is. So I did bring these cherries to defrost. I left them in the refrigerator so that they're not frozen right now because we are heating them up. We want them to come to a boil. This is a 1/4 cup or a 1/2 cup?
You're going to do a 1/4 cup of whiskey.
Look at that.
Yep.
How about that, everybody? Isn't that amazing? Okay, so we've got 3 ingredients in here. We're going to bring this to a boil, and now I'm going to give you a hack. This calls for, let's see, Lisa says, yum, I put it over vanilla ice cream maybe. Yes, you can. But in this case, we're going to put it over cheesecake shooters, right? So what we have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you this. This calls for a 1/4 cup of butter. My butter was already out of the slicing thing with the paper on it. And I'm like, how am I going to figure out how much 1/4 butter is? And so what you do is you take a measuring cup, a liquid measuring cup, and put 1 cup of water in it. And then you take your butter and you put it into the measuring cup. And when it goes up to 1 1/4 cups, you know you've got 1 1/4 cups of butter. Because it's very hard, then you take it out. So make sure it's very cold when you do that. So sometimes it's very hard to measure butter, especially if you take it out of the paper and there's no way to cut it. And so if it's calling for a 1/2 cup of butter, a 1/4 cup, a 1/3 cup, oftentimes they call, you know, for that. And it's like, how am I going to know? And what are you going to do? And then you put it into a measuring cup, and there's bubbles and air in those measuring cups. But if you just take it, plop it into water, whoops, I always have trouble with this. Turn it off, turn it back on, and we're back. There we go. Okay.
That's really a smart hack. I had never even thought of that. Oh, my sister's on now. Hi, Dee.
Hey, Danielle. How are you? Okay. All right. So what this recipe calls for is to bring this into a simmer. Make sure it's bubbling. It's still a little bit cold, and they're still a little bit frozen. So let's give them a minute. And so let's talk about one of the things that you taught me just recently is that one of our traditions is that, and there are so many amazing traditions that we have, literally you spend a lifetime learning about them. If you're not raised in an Orthodox or an Orthodox family, it takes you it's a lifetime of learning. And so you told me that you are supposed to do what? There's a tradition that you're supposed to do what on Rosh Hashanah?
So on Rosh Hashanah, and actually I learned this from my aunt who is Orthodox and taught this to my family, but a tradition on Rosh Hashanah is to introduce a new fruit to your family, something that you haven't eaten in the past year. So traditionally, along with the other symbolism of the pomegranate, you can introduce a pomegranate to your family, but some of the other ones we like to introduce are dragon fruit or star fruit, things that we don't eat all year long, but they're a new fruit to our family on the holiday.
Yes, and can I also say, I feel like I have performed my mitzvah, which is a good deed, by introducing dragon fruit and the whole dragon fruit farming experience that we all had together, all the gatherers together when I went to the dragon fruit farm. And Cynthia and I then made dragon fruit martinis, and we made dragon fruit everything, and I had never tasted or even seen a dragon fruit, and I actually confused dragon fruit with passion fruit. So that was very interesting. So so what are you going to introduce this year?
So we bought a star fruit last weekend for Tova to try, just so that we could. Tova is my little girl, my 5-year-old little girl, and she didn't seem to like it. So I'm going to have to find another new fruit to bring to the table. But I think the shape of a star fruit is really fun and interesting.
And where did you find it?
I found it actually at Smith's, and interestingly enough, I took a picture and didn't send it to you, but Smith's on Rampart and Lake Mead, because they have a large kosher section, has a display set up that says introduce a new fruit for Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, really?
Yes, and they had dragon fruits and star fruit and pomegranates.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so are star fruits good? Do they taste good?
Very good. I thought it was delicious. It's a very mild flavor, but you can eat everything, the skin also, and when you cut it, literally is a star. It is, it's shaped yellow. It has a tough skin on the outside, but when you cut it, it's a star. So it has 5 points, but you can't tell until you cut it open to see the star. Yeah,
cool.
It's great.
Okay.
So now it is saying to add the 1/4 of the cup of butter and then continue cooking until the cherries are hot and bubbly.
Okay. And so while this is cooking, we'll I really want them to be able to see. So let me move you closer, which means that you and I have to stand even closer so they can see us and this.
Well, I think they'd rather see the food anyways, right?
I'm gonna tip you down so that you can see this. I'm gonna turn this down one. Can you smell the whiskey?
Yes, absolutely. And Marla mentioned this is one of my favorite chefs. I don't do a lot of the cooking in my home. My husband thankfully does, but for the holidays we like to try new recipes.
I mean, some girls have all the luck. I mean, do you know how many women say that to me? Oh, I don't need to cook. My husband does it all. I'm just like, really? Like, how does that happen?
But Tori Avey is great. She introduces some really good stuff for the holidays. So
okay, so there we go. We're gonna let you do that. And while I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because I don't want these cherries to break. So you can see that this is the butter, as you can see right here. And that will start coming to a melt. And what you and I are going to do together is we are going to take, I tested this earlier, we are going to take a tablespoon or a teaspoon and a half of cornstarch, okay? And here is the whisk.
Jonathan wanted to make sure I remember the chicken I put in your fridge, otherwise we won't have dinner tonight, he said.
Oh. Okay.
I will remember it, John. Thank you.
Well, you can come over and get it. Okay. I love when like I've seen people and I was like, oh, I was going to have to call you later to tell you something. You're here. Let me just tell you now. So we're going to take one
teaspoon.
A little, it says 1 teaspoon, but I did test this earlier, forever in the test kitchen, and I did not like the way that it came out.
Oh, interesting.
So I added another teaspoon of cornstarch. You can also use arrowroot. And now here is another hack. forever when you are juicing a lemon or juicing an orange, those seeds. I mean, I watched Giada just put this through her hand. Honestly, the acid always burns my hand and I can't tolerate it. So I use one of these juicers, if you can see. Let me tip down, and I always put this strainer in, so let the seeds go. You know, let them come if they choose, but so all the seeds in the world can fall inside
Need
this.
one of those lemon juicers. That's great.
Oh,
I don't have one of those.
I have so many.
That's
Here,
such a great
take
tool.
This.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah.
Bring home a lemon juicer, John.
I love to share.
Thanks.
That is for sure. Okay. All right. So see, that's what happens. You come over. Oops.
I didn't even ask for it, but that's
You
great.
say you like
Thank
things.
you. Yeah,
And
right.
and I give them to you. Okay. So now we're going to take
So
this.
yeah, now you add that to the cherry mixture and cook for an additional 2 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, that
And
helps to thicken it, huh?
It does. And you know what? We're going to temper it a little bit, meaning that we're going to add some of this hot liquid. I'll just use this to, actually, and this has a little bit of a pour spout, so I am going to pour just a little bit of liquid into this, just enough so that it, you know, keeps itself going. Okay, and I'm going to turn this back on. I turned it off. It was going too fast. And here we go. Let me turn you so that you can all see. Again, I don't know if you can see, but I added just some of that cherry liquid.
Why did you do that?
Because sometimes if it isn't liquidy enough when you add it, it just clumps
Oh,
or
got it. Uh-huh. Yep.
and it doesn't get thick. So we're going
Got
to
it.
let this get itself thick. We're going to let it start to come. And then what does the next thing say to do?
So after 2 minutes, once it starts to thicken, remove it from the heat and transfer those cherries to a bowl. Refrigerate them until they're totally chilled. But in the meantime, we're gonna start doing the whipped cream cheese and condensed milk bowl. That's in the fridge.
Right.
So.
Well, just because Nanny Bubby has a lot of experience with this stuff, what do you think Nanny Bubby
I
did?
think that you already have cherries in the fridge.
I
is my
do.
guess.
I do. I made this earlier so that they would be thick. So if you want, just go ahead and grab them from the refrigerator and let's see how thick they got.
There you go. Wow.
So how thick is that?
Pretty good. Perfect.
Yes, come a little closer.
Oh,
so
got
they
that?
can see.
There you
There
go.
we go. Oh my God, isn't that gorgeous?
Perfect.
Okay.
That's great.
So we will turn this off. You think we've been about 2 minutes?
That's right. I think so.
Okay. Let's see if it's gotten thicker. I just kind of want to see it get a little bit thicker. And then we'll turn it
That's
off.
a very good point. Arlene said she can't serve a dairy dessert with a meat dinner. That is true for those people who have the cock
Yes,
root, right?
that is true. You cannot if you're making salmon, no problem. So tomorrow is a non-dairy dessert because we are doing both days, today and tomorrow. So we have thought of everything.
That's right.
And tomorrow is a non-dairy dessert. Okay. So, but I am having salmon. So for me, this works, but it just depends. If you're a brisket guy or girl, and your family's doing brisket, then you can't. So that's what she said is great.
Okay.
But you can definitely have sangria tomorrow
That is
or
true.
next week, right?
Yes. Yes. I have tried to make some of these dairy desserts too with the tofuti or something like that. It isn't exactly the same, but you probably could alter it a bit.
Yeah.
Just a
And-
thought.
Okay, do me a favor and unplug this.
Okay. I think that's this one.
Yes,
There
and
we
if
go.
you'll hand it to me, there we go. I heard it go off.
Yep.
I'm gonna come towards you, and here, let's just move it right over here out of our way because it is hot. And hi, sweetheart. Do you want to come say hi? So my little doll face is here. She just came in from school. Would you like to say hello to everybody? Hi. Can you say Happy Rosh Hashanah? You know what we're making is we're making cheesecake. Would you like to help or do you have to go do homework? Okay, do you know what I would love? I was thinking about this. In a couple of weeks when you're feeling really comfortable, would you like to come and play guitar for everybody? When you're ready?
No.
No, not yet. Okay, she's not ready. She just started taking guitar lessons, so.
My mom is asking if we're having brisket. We are. We are. We are having brisket.
Okay, all right, so let's move the
Okay.
mixer a little bit
Yes.
closer. We having brisket.
Yeah.
You haven't talked about it yet?
Well, not with her, but we've certainly been planning. There we
Okay.
go.
All right. Okay. Harmony did not walk in with her because she's afraid that I'm probably going to say, oh, Harmony, come say hello. And she said she's not going to, so I'm not going to ask you to come say hello, Harmony. You're okay. All right, so yes, he bought a 10-pound cut today. That's amazing. Okay. All right. So this is just your regular Philadelphia cream cheese, and we are going to take this and we are going to...
Yours is different than mine.
Yeah, I know. Oh, how about if you open that one and I'll open
this
one?
Happy
This
to.
is room temperature. I actually took it out this morning. Cream cheese does keep room temperature for, good 10, 12 hours without any problem. You just really want it to be able to mix well.
So just put it right into the bowl here, the attachment? Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah. And we'll use the...
I don't know how to lift it. Do you want to lift it or no?
It's lifted.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't lift. It goes down. It comes up when it's ready.
Okay, got it.
These are kind of hard to do, but we're working on it here. Okay.
Got it. There we go.
So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the way, but okay. And just cool enough to peel perfectly off of the foil. Okay, and the next thing we're going to add is...
You're going to add the condensed milk, and they say it is 14 ounce of condensed milk, which is 1 can. So here it is right here.
So I do want to say one more hack to everybody, is that when you are working with cans, you always want to wash the top really, really well.
That's smart.
And you always want to get into the crevices, and you really do, because and dry it out and wipe it out. So the reason why is that there's so much dust and dirt that accumulates in a factory when things are being canned. Even the aluminum can themselves, there's aluminum dust. And so you definitely don't want that getting into your food. You know how anti-aluminum I am anyway. And so just make sure you always are washing the tops of anything that you're using so that you're not transferring all that factory dust and grocery store dust into your food. So here we go. I'm just going to rinse this spatula really well. We don't want suddenly our cream cheese getting red on any level. Okay, there we go. I feel like that is lopsided. Okay, push it down. Let's take it down. Okay. There
we go.
Okay, pull it up.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to put the condensed milk, as you can see, right in. We'll turn this to the side so that you can see it better. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a lot in there, isn't there? So. I think we got it all?
Yeah, I think so. Good.
Boy, I don't know about you guys, but if there is something that I think I can eat, like, right out of the can, it's actually condensed milk. It is so delicious. Okay. Of course, I go into diabetic shock, but anyway. Okay.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. I'm just... There we go. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's turn it on. And what does it say? How long?
So it says just to whip it until it's fluffy. Okay. So there you go.
Let's see if we can get a tight shot. Okay, so do you want to talk to them for just a minute? You can grab it.
Sure. So when Marla said to me, do I have any family recipes that I love for Rosh Hashanah, I couldn't come up with one. I usually ask people to bring recipes for us. So I was excited about this one, and it seems pretty easy too. Something you can do in a matter of just a minute.
Okay, now, what did I do with the spatula right here? Okay, let's push down the sides. Let me lower this. There we go.
It's great. It looks really good. I think just a few minutes is enough to make it fluffy, right? Or do you think you should go longer?
Well, I'm just going to try it. It's not like whipped cream. I don't think it keeps, it doesn't get fluffier. so the very next thing that we're going to do, let me move you all back so you can watch us. There we are. Hi there. Okay. Hi, Sue Epstein. How are you? All right. So let's take this off right here. And sorry.
No, you're okay.
All right. Okay. Into the sink, and let's...
You did pull this out. Was that for this?
I did, but I also want to do two things. So I actually want you and I to do two separate ways. So many of you do not have a pastry bag at home.
Right.
And so one of the ways that you can use a pastry bag, whether you have one at home or not, is just to take a Ziploc bag. So I'll use the Ziploc bag, and you use the pastry bag.
Great.
We both make one. I think I want to pull this off. So if I pull this off, can you maybe move this over there?
Yep.
Or
Got it.
just on top of the board here. I just don't want it to get hot.
No problem. Yep.
I actually need a wide angle television camera for this space, but I go figure all I have is an iPhone. Okay, go ahead and just move that. There you go. Okay, very good. And I'll plug it.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Thank
Okay, all right. So we're back. Okay, so we're going to let's do the pastry bag first. And what I've done is put the pastry bag inside this glass so that it holds it upright. And then you just very simply go ahead and just start filling it. Let me move this to the side and move this here so that you can see how easy really it is. That way you open up the sides.
Can you just get a pastry bag like this at the grocery store?
You can get a pastry bag like this at Target, definitely on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I ordered this from
true.
Amazon.
You get everything on Amazon.
You do. And just put in pastry bag, and you'd be amazed how many come up,
I'm
and
sure.
all the different nozzles and everything else. So here we go. We'll put one more in there, and then what we'll be doing is just pulling this up, and then we'll just hold it like this, and you'll start to squeeze. But before we do that, let's do my bag.
Right, and
Let's
we have to do the graham
open this.
cracker.
We will do the graham crackers. There's a little measuring cup in there so we can sprinkle. Okay.
Perfect.
In fact, well, let's do this. Let's fill the bag. And I'll hold it open while you put it in, just because you could also put this in a cup if you need to. And in fact, if you just want to like pick up the bowl and scrape it and just pour it down in, and we'll just see how it rolls.
Oops,
There
let's
we
do
go.
that. Sorry for everybody, right in the middle of the camera. Okay, just making sure to get every last drop.
Yeah, don't waste any. All right, there we go.
Okay, great.
All right, so we're gonna zip it, burp out the air, of course. And let me turn around and we'll get it all maybe, there, we'll get it away from the corner, and then we will snip it and then pull the corners. So here we go. All right.
Perfect.
So let's hold that up like that. I guess I have to hold it. So I guess I'm gonna let you, there's two here, and here's two more right here.
Oh, wow, I love these.
Yeah, these I got for my wedding, and I haven't used them since. Harmony keeps saying you have to get rid of these, and I say, but I'm gonna use them. She said, when? You haven't used them in 41 years, and I go, one day I'm gonna wanna use them. So there we go, to fill the bag without a mess, yes. How do you stay so thin with all that cooking? I don't know. Some days I don't feel so thin.
Okay, so this is what it says to line the bottom with crumbles, right?
So if you have graham crackers, you can certainly put them in your food processor, but I actually prefer just to buy the crumbs. And I think it really makes for great, whether you're making a pie or whether you're making anything. So
how much do you think? Just a healthy
enough,
heaping?
Yeah, just enough to coat the bottom, right?
Okay, there you go.
So we're just gonna...
Is that pretty good?
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I will let you take your pastry bag.
Okay, great.
And I'll let you, let's move this, and squeeze right into the top. And then I will take the Ziploc, and let's see how I do. Whoa, look at that. apparently I cut 2 sides of it, so I didn't do a good job just snipping the corner, but so it's coming out double, but.
Wow, that looks really good.
Okay. You only had enough for one?
Oh, shoot.
No, that's okay.
I forgot we were doing 2.
It's a good thing.
It looked like
no, it's
the
a good thing because I kind of messed up here, so.
Okay, there you go. You're right. I forgot we had 2.
Can you like hold the neck of that so that it actually goes in the right place?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And I can't see.
Okay, so I don't know that this is generally a 2-person job.
No, it's just that I cut 2 corners and everything suddenly, I got more than just the corner tip.
Okay, there we
So
go.
note to self, if you're doing it in a Ziploc bag, be careful where you cut because you could end up with 2 holes, which is what I did. Okay, there we go.
Perfect. I mean, okay, great.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great. Okay.
All right. So, and Sue, you will notice that I'm not a baker. Like this may be one of the very few times that you've actually seen me make desserts because I don't usually. I'm just not a baker. I don't enjoy baking, and I also don't enjoy eating it, to be honest.
So you can tell the line there. Now I would probably do more graham cracker, but then
yeah,
again,
and I
don't
wonder
know,
if
'cause
you
gotta
can
put the cheese
see
on.
in there. You can also see it just a little bit here.
I mean the cherries on,
yeah.
not the cheese.
So okay, so here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
You can hear them talking so loud upstairs. They don't realize that. Tom, just in time for dessert. Are you coming downstairs?
Yeah, but I'm not having dessert. I haven't
Well, you can say hi to our friends on Facebook because we're still
Oh.
on air.
Yeah. He has no shame. He comes down every day, no matter what. Can you say hi, darling?
Hi, everybody.
Can you say happy Rosh Hashanah? Good Yom Tov?
Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Good Yom Tov?
We're making
Look at
these
these.
cheesecake shooters, which also look
You
awesome,
gonna
right?
save one for Liv?
Yes, if she likes them. She came.
Are you kidding? 7-year-olds don't like ice
Yeah,
cream?
these look great.
So you might want to garnish this with, oh, this looks fabulous. So how's that with your chicken tonight?
Look at that.
There we go. So you might want to garnish this. Arlene says very pretty, but why the pastry bag instead of spooning? I don't know.
Arlene, because that's what Tori said to do.
That's what she said to do.
Honestly, I think a spoon might be the way.
Yeah,
I
but
would
you
do
know
it.
what? I like the way, honestly, Arlene, the truth is that as it came out of that bag, it just kind of folded in over itself and it left a really beautiful swirl, which I loved. But yeah, you could just spoon it if you want.
No,
but
she
I
does
do
say
like
that-
the pastry bag. Yeah, okay. That's a great idea.
I was going to tell you, she does say to garnish it with some almonds. I don't know
Yes.
that I would choose to do that, but
Okay, well, let's just
Yeah.
do it because she said. So a few
Yeah.
almonds on the top. What do you think, dear?
almonds on top, I don't know.
Oh, yes. Nice touch.
Okay.
Nice touch. Perfect.
All right. And on top of that, I would also take a little bit of fresh mint and just because
Oh, I
nothing
like
looks
that.
better than like
Something
great
green.
mint that would be right on top of it. So there you have it. You want to hold them up
Yes,
for everybody
they
to
look
see?
good.
Sadly, you can't see it too well. Let's see. Wondering if the graham cracker crumbs might be blended with butter and pressed into the glass. You could, like a pie crust, but I think actually what's really great about this is that when you take your spoon down in, you like pick up like a little bit of graham cracker here, a little bit of graham cracker there. It's a good idea. I think it's whatever preference that you might like. And Jonathan says, I bet you could substitute other fruit. I bet you could. And if we've had extra pomegranate, I think I would have sprinkled fresh pomegranates right on top of this. I think that would have
this
been
is great.
fantastic.
What a great recipe.
Yeah.
I have not tried it, but I will.
Well, you're going to try it now?
Yes, but
Yes.
I'm gonna try to make it at home too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so. And let's see. Leo says I was thinking of the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, about putting butter into the graham cracker crust.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right, everybody. That's it. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us today.
everyone.
Our beautiful
And thank you.
sangria. Yes, and thank you. Oh my gosh. So look at how beautiful that is. The fruit actually comes to the top. The grapes, I think, sunk to the bottom.
Yeah, they did.
Right? But here we go. Let's just take this and let's just see how this looks as it comes out. Just for the fun of it. There you go. It's beautiful, and you can
Love
dish
that.
out. Just,
Yeah.
you know, even you could keep some apples and some grapes on the side. Apples, grapes, and what else do we put in?
We put pomegranate seeds in there.
Yeah, off to the side, and so that's
great.
how it would look. So beautiful. And that's it. Well, raise your glass.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me today.
And
Appreciate
raise your
it.
dessert. And join us tomorrow. We're going to make apple honey brownies, or just honey brownies.
Yes.
Something,
Something like that.
which will be perfect.
Which is the dairy-free dessert.
Which is the dairy-free dessert.
Sandy,
All right,
I'm
everybody.
inspired too. I think these two are winners.
I do too. And even for a baby shower, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So on the you want to see anything fabulous about Jewish Nevada before we go?
I mean, Jewish Nevada is fabulous. No, but please
And
check
why
out.
wouldn't it be?
No, right, but in all honesty, check out jewishnevada.org or the Jewish Nevada Facebook page. You can always see what's going on and what we're up to.
There you go. And on the count of 3, everybody together. 1, 2, 3. Go out and ready?
Oh,
Spread love like butter.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody. Thanks for being here.